quick too. Question: Do I really need to introduce this lady in front of me? I don't think so. Hey, Debbie, how you
Hi,
doing?
good. How are you?
Good, but we'll be back in a minute. True, Deb. Don't you want that song to keep going on and on and on? I mean, like I have the full
Yes.
song. So before I
Um,
get into like Debbie and the credit card stuff, whatever. The other
mhm.
night I said, it's 2023. I like to change around some of my intros or whatever. And I found this. It took me like an hour and 15 minutes to do the 19-second intro that you just saw.
Wow.
But that's okay. When I found that tune, I was like, the whole night I'm thinking of it. I couldn't sleep. 2 a.m. I'm thinking that tune. Oh my gosh. So 5 a.m. it went up. But do you
Mhm.
like it?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I
Okay.
do. Very much so.
Well, guess about liking. We all love Debbie from the How Debbie Saves channel. Not only does she have a YouTube channel, but Debbie is actually a money coach and she does a great job at it. And as time goes on, I'm hearing you're helping even more and more people. Thanks so much
Yeah.
for that, Debbie. I appreciate that because
Mhm.
everybody could use a little help. Speaking of help, it's a brand new year, clean slate, clean start. Some of us really, really, really want to get out of credit card debt, and sometimes we just don't know actually how it could happen, but it can happen. So, Debbie, I
Mhm.
have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
Debbie, in your honest opinion, why do you believe that so many people are actually in credit card debt in the first place?
I really believe that credit card debt for so many comes from not having a budget, like not having, knowing what their numbers are. They don't know what money that comes in. They're living above their means because they don't budget. And then now with the rising prices of groceries, for example, which are astronomical, it just gets people further into debt. And the more people swipe and they feel like at the end of the month, I'm going to have the money to pay, but they're not actually managing their money. It doesn't happen. And then people start carrying a balance every month and then it gets bigger and bigger. Plus holiday shopping, special events, things like that. Next thing you know, they're thousands of dollars in debt. They have a credit card bills that they can't pay.
So, basically, what you're saying is not so much to be afraid of the numbers, but get familiar with our numbers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Having a budget in place can change everything. It can change absolutely everything. And it doesn't have to be something, it's human nature. Like when we're not looking forward to something or we don't know how to do something, it's human nature that we put it off. And so when my clients come to me and we start working together, after like 3 weeks, they're like, this is simple. And I'm like, yes, it can be simple. And it doesn't have to be restrictive. There's some people out there that have negative connotations when it comes to budgeting, and they say things like, you shouldn't eat at a restaurant. You should only look at a restaurant if you're working in it, if you have credit card debt and things like that. There's such negative things out there which are ridiculous. Which are ridiculous. If you tell anyone that if they start budgeting they can't eat out ever, no one's ever gonna budget. But it makes me laugh, but it's true. So when people aren't looking forward to something and there's all that negative connotation out there, and they don't want to get started because they're not motivated to get started. They see money from a negative point of view. Of course, you're going to put it off. And when you don't
You're
have it in
right.
place, you're going to keep getting further into debt. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right because you want to give anyone the sense of empowerment, not of
Hmm.
deprivation. And always,
Sure.
I feel this way. Frugality, for example. Let's talk about
Hmm.
frugality just a brief second.
Yeah.
Frugality is nothing about deprivation.
Yes.
If a person thinks it is, they are so not right.
Hmm.
that's
Absolutely.
that's its own show, right? Deb? One day we could
Yes.
talk about that for sure.
Absolutely, we can.
Okay, so
Yeah.
getting familiar with numbers is really, really crucial. So,
Hmm.
Debbie, let me ask you, what is something that you think, for example, that should be made aware of in reference to credit card debt in general in life?
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Credit card companies are working against you. They're a business, they're not your friend. I know that people think like, they have cash rewards and they have travel points and all these things, cash back, and 0% and all this stuff. So they feel like, oh, okay, well, I'm not spending as much as I think I am. But then they're wondering, like, where is my money going? I can't tell you how many times people tell me, like, Debbie, like, I have no idea what's going on with my money. Like, I don't have enough. I never have enough. It must be an income problem. And it's not. Most of the time, it's the debt, because the interest rate is eating almost all of your payments. And so you're not getting anywhere. You're not moving forward, but then you're continuing to charge because you don't have a budget. So you're going backwards. But credit card companies are not your friends. They are doing so many things behind your back that are costing you thousands upon thousands of dollars. It's slimy. It's disgusting. It should be illegal, but it's not. Like, for example, I'll just give you one example, because I can talk about this for an hour, and I don't want to. I have respect for your time. So, for example, the interest rates. Many of my clients, when they come to me and we start talking about the interest, their credit card debt, and I want to break things down, because I believe everything, if you make it simple, it's easy to manage. And so when we start talking about the interest rates, they believe they're paying 10%, because that's the average percentage rate that was in place when they applied for the card. And when I tell them, okay, like, contact, like, look up how much interest you're paying. First of all, they're no longer printing it on the statements. They used to have them on the paper statements. They don't have them anymore. They're raising the rates without notifying you. So when my clients go to look, they're not paying 10%, and they're always made their payments on time. They're not late, but they're not paying 10% anymore. Now it's 24 to 27%. The highest I saw was last week. She was paying 28%. And when you hear numbers like that, Jan, a lot of people don't understand the impact that it can make. So here's an example. I have a client who has $6,000 of credit card debt. And so you would think $6,000 isn't a huge amount compared to, like, what you hear other people have, right? But she's the one that's paying 28% interest, and she's making her minimum payments. So when I broke it down for her, and just for her to see, because she's telling me, I don't know where my money is going, right? And she's not living an extravagant life. $6,000 of credit card debt at 28% interest is $5,000 of interest, and it would take her over 6 years to pay it off. So $6,000 of purchases, $5,000 of interest rate, that $6,000 is going to cost her $11,000 and take her over 6 years to pay it off. Like,
Debbie,
that's what 28%.
could somebody help pick the chin off the floor? Because
Yeah, that's one card, one person. The average person has a balance of about $10,000 on a card.
Okay.
So we need to know what interest rates we are paying, and they're not telling us. They're raising it behind our back, no notification at all anymore, and they're not putting it on the statements. So you either have to log online to find out. And I've had 2 clients in the last month that had to call their credit card companies because they couldn't even find it online. And one of them was in tears because he thought he was paying, I think, 10 to 12%, and he was paying 26. Like, that's what they're doing. And that's how they're staying in business. That's why they're a multi-billion-dollar company. And they throw rewards at you, like cash back and travel, to make you want to grab that card. Everyone knows, if they open their wallet, what card has what benefit. And another thing is, they're not telling you the interest rate that you're paying, but they are telling you, congratulations, you just qualified for a credit limit increase. So now you don't know what interest rate you're paying on the debt that you have, but here's an additional $5,000 that you can charge. Congratulations, because we value you as a customer. This is why so many people are in debt, and they have no idea what's going on, and they can't get out.
I mean, I'm not laughing at the poor personal victims. I'm laughing at, gee, I'm giving you an invitation to debt.
Yes.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Hey, you get more debt. Yay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's
Debbie,
terrible.
It should be illegal, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's horrible.
I have another client who has, I think, 7 credit cards. The total of her debt is $13,000. And when I broke it down for her, and we found out what the interest rate was, and I really broke it down because I wanted her to see where her money's been going. $13,000 of debt, she was going to pay 25% interest on it. And it was going to take her over 10 years to pay it off. That's what the minimum payment does. Because it looks so shiny and new, right? You buy something, whether it's out of necessity or because you don't have a budget and you feel like you can pay it off. And then at the end of the month, you get this bill and it says, this is the total, but you can pay this much, and that's the minimum payment. And once you do it once, you think to yourself, oh, okay, it'll just take me a little bit longer, but I'll pay it off. You don't realize what's happening. And
I
that's where they
think
want you. That's where they want you.
Thank you so much for that, Debbie. I think, and I'm no credit card expert, like, for example, you would be, for example.
Hmm.
I think they're playing on people's vulnerability. Oh, that person is not being mindful. If
Yes.
I'm not feeling the pinch, oh, you
Hmm.
mean all I have to do is either enter a number, carry a piece of plastic, wave it in the air, scan it, or whatever.
Hmm.
Voila, there's the thing of my choice. I
Yeah.
don't feel a pinch. Every December, you might remember this, Deb, how long we know each other now, quite a while, okay?
Yeah.
Number of years already.
I know.
I
Wonderful.
and you yeah, it is. I
Hmm.
love it. But remember this, every December, I give this video speech every year. I don't care how boring it might be to my wonderful people that have followed me for years. January still comes. We
Yeah.
get caught up with the lights. We get caught up with
Hmm.
the trees. We get caught up with we want to be good giving people because that's our nature. We want to
Hmm.
do this. But then
Yes.
sometimes we forget the reality. While we didn't feel that pinch in December, come January, ouch, ouch, and more ouch. I really don't like the numbers you were throwing with that percentage.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
devastating.
And people don't understand. They don't do the math because they don't understand how to do it. They don't understand how to break
Right.
it
It's
down.
not that they're bad people. They don't want to do it.
No,
They're like, they
no,
just
they're being
sometimes.
pried on. They're being preyed upon,
Before I
honestly.
go on to the next question, you do
Yeah.
have a master class that unpacks a few
Yes.
things, right?
I this is the second round that I'm doing. The first round that I did in October got such great reception, and that had so many people reach out to me saying like thank you for getting the information out. So it's completely free, and I'm having it on February 22nd. Someone sent me a message yesterday and they're like, "Oh, 222 for you." I'm like, "That's hysterical." So, so I'm like, "That's kind of catchy."
That is
So
catchy.
right, I know. So it's February 22nd, and it's going to be on Zoom, and it's completely free at 7 o'clock. And I really let you know exactly what they're doing, how these credit card companies are doing it, and how you can go around it so that you can save so much money and not fall victim any longer to what their tactics. And it's called "What Your Credit Card Companies Don't Want You to Know."
Debbie's not kidding. I attended your
Yes,
October
the first one.
masterclass. Yeah, I had to. Yeah, I just
Mhm.
as an observer. I hope you don't mind. I like to
No,
observe.
I loved you there. It was such
It
comfort.
was
It was
great.
my first time. I was like, okay, I'm putting myself out there. Like I was a little nervous, and then I saw your face, and I was like, oh,
You
Jan's here.
no, you are a teacher. You are a
Oh, thank
teacher. Some
you,
people go to school and become a teacher, and some people just are teachers. So you're a
thank you.
teacher. You
Very
probably did
sweet.
both, for all I know. I don't know that, but anyway, I have another
No,
question for you.
sure.
And also, before I forget, you still offer that free money coach
Yes,
strategy type call?
strategy call. Yes,
Wow.
it's an honest conversation that I want to have for free for anyone that wants help, and we
Yes.
talk about like how I can help them or how I also give tips on how they can try to do things on their own. So that
And
way whether they
honestly,
work with me or not, they get something out of the call.
I've heard it is so worth it. And honestly, the easiest way to get all that information, head on over to Debbie's YouTube channel,
Yes.
How Debbie Saves. You will
Mhm.
find a plethora of videos from very important subject matter, and you can get that information immediately, right, in your
Yes,
description. So
absolutely.
I
Mhm.
really hope you head over there. By the way, do mention that Janet sent you. Just saying.
Yes, absolutely. Let me know. Let me know. Absolutely. Yes.
Deb, you're
Mhm.
too cute. Listen, all right, I do have a question for you. How do you
Yeah.
suggest people pay off their debt?
I really think that it starts with having a budget in place. I really do, because how can you know how much money you're going to have available at the end of the month to apply towards your debt without knowing what's happening with your money in the first place? So having a budget in place is key. And then after that is knowing exactly what interest rates you're paying per card so that you can make the decision then of the income that you have available at the end of every month to apply it towards your debt. And by doing it strategically and knowing exactly what's happening with each card, instead of looking at it like, for example, $25,000 of debt, if you break it down per card, per interest rate, what you're paying and what it's going to cost you to just pay the minimum payments, you can take that extra cash and apply it towards the card that you feel will benefit you the most by paying it off. So
I
I
love
really
that.
think it starts with a budget. It really does. But the budget is key, and it doesn't have to be restrictive. Like my clients
I'm
have
loving
fun.
it.
My clients have fun. They have massages. They go out to dinner with their friends. They go on date nights. Like they have what I call is fun money, and
Yeah.
because I include them in the budget, so it becomes something that's fun and not something that's restrictive, and that's
Life
key.
goes on. You're right. I have a
Hmm.
budget. I don't just
Yeah.
talk about budgets. I live
Hmm.
within my means. I have a
Hmm.
budget, and I even budgeted into my Christmas plan gift for Jan.
Oh,
I literally had, so I
I
got me
love that.
thank you, an under the desk, exercycle type thing, stationary thing.
Oh,
So I
okay.
got me one of those. That was my
Hmm.
Christmas gift for myself. And
Nice.
you know what? We can be frugal. We can have fun. We
Yeah.
can laugh.
Yeah.
Some people are paying down their debt. That makes you even smile even bigger, right? Just paying
Yes.
it down, watching the numbers go down. We are
Hmm.
empowered,
Yeah.
Debbie, and you help people that are having a little bit of, a time with it, challenging time, especially with these uncertain times. You
Yeah.
help people unpack it. I
Yeah.
strongly recommend that you head over to Debbie's How Debbie Saves channel, get all the information you need.
Hmm.
Consider strongly going to the master class. If you want the services of Debbie as a money coach, she offers a free FREE. I don't know about you, but I love free stuff.
Absolutely.
I
And
mean,
plus, yeah, absolutely. And I want them to feel comfortable in talking to me about their money so that I can help them, whether
yeah,
working with them or not. And
yeah.
and it all starts with having an honest conversation. So yeah, definitely, yeah. And I also have a podcast that's out. It's called Ladies Who Finance, and
I gotta hear
and
that podcast. Shame on
it's
me for not getting that. Now
no,
I hear
it's
about a podcast. How do you like that?
it's only episode 2, but it's such a passion project. In the second episode, I really go into what we're talking now, which is like what the credit card companies are doing, and it's on everything, on Spotify and Apple and everything, and I'm so proud of it.
Wow.
It
You
was something I
should
said,
be.
this year I'm doing a podcast because I want to get the word out even more. We need to talk about
Yay.
this. Thank you. We need to
Debbie,
talk
wait a minute.
about
That's
this.
right. You're on IG, right? Why do I not mention you're
Oh, and
on
on
IG?
Instagram. And on Instagram. Yeah, anyone can send me a message anytime,
Unlike
any
me, that
questions.
kind of stays in one place.
What I like about
That's on
Instagram
me.
is
I got to work on that.
I've been trying to get you on Instagram
Yeah, I
forever.
know, for 1,000 years. I know.
What I like about Instagram is you can private message on Instagram. And so like
Yeah.
anyone that has any questions or wants to be part of the class or has any questions about debt or, budgets, like they can just reach out to me on Instagram as well. I live there. So, yeah.
I think you do. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, Debbie,
Yeah.
before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to add to this message?
I just hope that if this message has touched you in one way or another, like I really hope that you take it upon yourself to get started. So many people think to themselves, in the new year I'm going to do something, and it's going to be my New Year's resolution. And I just did a video on this on my channel too. But when you put that tone to it, most resolutions like are failed by February 15th. And then from February 15th to the end of the year, you're
Oh, we lost Debbie here. I'm so sorry. Debbie, I don't know what happened there technically, but I know that Debbie gives great messages, and if you want to reach her, find her on her channel first. Let's see if she signs back in again. Give her a minute. Go to her YouTube channel and see what happens, and look up her information. But if you have any confusing question, okay, the best thing to do, especially, is to consult a money coach, a person like Debbie, a person who is trustworthy, a person who has a history of helping other people, a person who has had a successful history of helping other people. I'm not sure if Debbie's going to sign back in. I'll give her a minute, and let's see if she does sign back in or not. In the meantime, why don't we play this video clip? Because keep this lady in mind. Give Debbie a second to come back in. Well, Debbie probably could not sign back in. You know, life happens. Internet is not perfect. It's a great tool, but it's not perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'm going to close out the show with a second reminder to a great night, everybody, and take good care. Bye bye.